watching Examples Chernobyl.
Hope that answers your question.
Hello everyone! It is I, Abyo from Pucca. I remember me. So today we're gonna take a look at the second part of the top 10 Untold Truths about Kool-Aid. Whoa! Whoa, dude! So anyways, enjoy the video, everyone. Action!
You are Kool-Aid.
Well, people get freaked out when you drink from your own head.
Kool-Aid is a refreshing drink that has been around for longer than many people can remember. In part 2 of our Kool-Aid series, we continue uncovering facts that might not be known to many people about this granddaddy of all non-carbonated drinks. Some facts are fun, while others are on the dark side. We lay them all out right here. The top 10 Untold Truths of Kool-Aid.
Give me that
Part 2,
listen on
The
TV.
Power of Powder.
First you get the sugar, then you get the power.
So what could go wrong when it's the 1920s and you're marketing a
You're
concentrated
gonna
syrup that
remarkable
ships to customers
believe.
in large,
Oh, you're gonna
unwieldy
believe
glass
impossible
containers.
when
Of
I'm-
course, a lot could go wrong.
Let's look at
And
the
a lot
opposite
did
go wrong.
as the parcels burst in the mailman's satchels or along the bumpy road.
Still a little bit
Sometimes the
tacky.
package would arrive safely to your front gate, but couldn't quite make it to your front
That's
door.
the
It was
power
rumored
of the
that
powder.
dogs played a major part in increasing the Kool-Aid bottle casualties as they attacked their perennial nemesis, the mailman. Facing an imminent disaster, Edwin Perkins, the man behind Kool-Aid, had to think fast to find a way to deliver
Kool-Aid,
his lemon,
you're
grape,
giving me the nuts
raspberry,
right
and
now.
cherry-flavored drink to the
There's some
customers
of the flavors,
without
too.
ruining the mailman's uniform and dooming his nascent company's prospects in the process.
Tilt your head back and I'll lean my liquid down into your mouth.
Perkins came up with the idea of turning his syrup into powder.
Oh,
and there you have
Kool-Aid.
it. The powder
That's
packets were born and
possible.
reached the thirsty customers just in time for a
That's still
pitcher
got
of
the time
refreshing
on that
fruit
picture
juice.
on
Now, to be
that.
fair, Perkins didn't invent the powder solution. He simply borrowed the idea from Jell-O. But that's neither here nor there in the larger scheme of things.
Oh,
History will
that's
always
still
remember
got
that
another
moment
history
Perkins
then,
switched to
dude.
powder
Come on,
as a
still
decisive
take.
moment in the history of Kool-Aid as we know it. Kool-Aid Man flirted with comic books.
This drink, I like it.
We talked before about the Kool-Aid Man, the famous mascot who was so popular at one point in time that he had his own video game or two. Here's another fun fact about that coolest of all mascots.
Ooh,
He
another
also made a few
Kool-Aid.
appearances in comic
Still got the
books,
facts, they got
delighting
comic
or
books
scaring
everywhere.
children everywhere. Now, you might be asking yourself, how on earth could a bulky pitcher be saving the world from evildoers and villains who are
Very
by custom
intense.
dashing and athletic figures? And that would be a valid
That's
question.
still slide bit action.
To answer it, we'd have to go back in time to the early 1980s, when sci-fi films had cheesy plots and horrible visual effects. They were simpler times then, and Marvel was
Dude,
still a struggling
very
company
simple.
trying to sell dreams to kids
That's still
who
got the
were turning away
imagination
from
going
comics
on.
to the more appealing video games industry. Marvel decided, for no good reason at all, to create a comic
Whoa,
book starring our
no
Red
good.
Pitcher. His
I
MO
know
was
about
crashing
this.
into people's
For
homes
you
without
guys.
breaking its delicate structure, with a small pitcher
Still
in his
got
hand
attack
to
on that
save the
man.
thirsty multitudes.
Kool-Aid
Hardly
Man.
the kind of plot one would expect from a comic book about superheroes and larger-than-life villains, right? And you can say what you like about the 80s, but at least people could tell when they were being taken for
That
a ride
still
by a glass
existed
pitcher
on
with cubes of
Ninja,
ice
the
dancing
Kool-Aid
at its top.
top.
The comic lasted
Still
3
a little bit
inglorious
dusty.
issues and then ceased to exist.
Still melted.
Nebraska loves Kool-Aid.
Nebraska? What's in Nebraska?
You.
Nebraska is a great state. It's home to, well, not much, really, but that irrelevant fact doesn't stop Nebraskans from
Nebraska
feeling
too
proud
about
of their
Kool-Aid.
state. So much so
Very
that they
amazing.
clutch at straws when it comes to finding things to
That's
make them
still
feel
got
unique
difference
and
than
special,
you
in a good
guys.
way, among
That's
neighboring
really
states. And one of those great achievements that don't get enough coverage by the news media or history books is the fact that Nebraska is the land where Kool-Aid made its first appearance, announced itself to the world, and made a really big splash all over the map.
That's a
From
big
Nebraska,
plop.
thousands of pictures
Come
of syrup
on.
made their
You
way
get
to
me
the homes
telling.
of hardworking Americans
I
everywhere,
can't
only to
believe
meet their
this.
demise just a few yards
You still
from their
believe in
final
your eyes,
destination.
wouldn't you?
I'll be back.
Such a distinction should be celebrated,
Yes,
don't you
still
think?
gets to celebrate
Nebraskans certainly think
Kool-Aid.
so. And being the astute overachievers they are, as soon as they make such an important
Whoa!
decision, they
Am I
spring
gonna
into
be on
action
wheels
right away.
so
People
good
voted
now?
unanimously to make
Woo!
Kool-Aid the official drink of the state.
That's no
There
good
wasn't
now.
really a vote or anything. It's just an idea that was floated around, and getting a lukewarm response was embraced enthusiastically by the then governor of the state, Ben Nelson, who made it the law of the land. There's a Kool-Aid Day festival. If Nebraska is proud of its stature among neighboring states as the
Ooh,
birthplace of
let's
Kool-Aid,
still get the
that pride
holidays
is
on
nothing
mine
compared to
now.
the gushing passion
Get
the
ready
town
for
where
some
it all
Kool-Aid
started feels.
tradition.
That town is called Hastings, and the nice people of this charming town will go out of their way to remind every
Ooh,
stranger
out of
who
my
strolls
way.
into town
That
that
still's
it
got
was
a little
here
bit
where
celebrating
Kool-Aid was
on
born
that.
and bred. But saying it to your face when you're having a quiet drink by
But
yourself
that's
at
quite
the bar
for sure.
doesn't seem to be enough
He's
for the
still a
local
little bit
townsfolk. They insist
thirsty
on
then,
shouting it
thanks.
over the rooftops.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
In a splash of color and pomp and ceremony, the likes
Whoa,
of which hasn't been
that's
seen in
easy
these
on
remote
my
parts
tip and
before,
my
Hastings
tongue.
devotes a whole
That's
day
really
to celebrate
delicious.
Kool-Aid. Why? I hear
Woo!
you ask. For no good reason seems to be the logical answer.
Let's look at
But
the
hey,
festival.
where's the harm? If some folks want to spend a whole day drinking a sugary drink, who are we to judge? And to be fair, the festival has more to offer its visitors than just the enlarged figures of the belly pop pitcher and its spawn. There are beauty pageants, drinking contests, and car shows. When we say drinking contests, I mean contests to see who can chug down
That's
Kool-Aid
still
faster than the
existing.
rest.
Good one
Kool-Aid
for
Day
you,
is an
rest.
occasion to celebrate artificial
That's
flavors,
still got the
not
best
alcohol.
in too.
There's a dark side to the story.
Still laughing.
This next fact is really dark. If you don't like stories about cults and maniac leaders who take their followers down a path of doom, then you should skip ahead a bit to where we tell you about mixing Kool-Aid and pickles. You've been warned. So our
Still a
sordid
little bit
story
mixed
starts
up.
at the end. The place is Guyana, and the year is 1978. Cult leader Jim Jones is at his rope's end, and everywhere he looks,
Whoa.
he sees threats to his
Yeah, still
cult
got the
and his
dark
utopia.
side of my
Jonestown
action.
is no longer
That's
the
still
paradise
got the
he had
horror.
envisioned it to be. His followers are deserting him,
Whoa,
and
dude.
at any moment, the local
Give me the
authorities will
reason
move in
A.
and arrest him. As drugs and delusions take over,
Woo!
Jones
I
becomes
got Donkey
more
Kong
erratic
no
in his
Kool-Aid
thinking
above
as
this
well as his
stuff.
behavior. He sees
That's
there's only
still
one way
insisting
out,
on
and
that.
since he's a coward, he doesn't want to go alone.
My children rejoice, the hour of transformation is close at hand.
In a horrific endgame twist, he offers his 900-strong followers a poisoned punch, promising them it will deliver them to the pearly gates where
Yes!
St. Peter will
That's
usher
still got
them in,
pieces
no
coming
questions
by.
asked. The contents of the punch that killed the men, women, and children of Jonestown is in dispute to this
Still a little
day.
bit
Some say it was
disputed.
made from Kool-Aid, while others insist it was really Flavor Aid. However, this tragic
Flavor
event
Aid
led
is
to the
still
unfortunate phrase that
worse
invaded
than
our
this.
pop culture, drinking the Kool-Aid. Try mixing Kool-Aid with pickles.
Don't eat that. That's bad. You'll hurt yourself.
You'd think Kool-Aid and pickles don't mix. One is a sugary drink, and the other is a salted, preserved vegetable.
Pickles!
But it's also true that both have a lot in
Ew.
common. They're bad for your health
That
since
is
they pump
so
sugar and
gross,
sodium
man.
into your bloodstream and make your heart work overtime. We're in a serious pickle. So imagine when you combine them into one weird-looking side dish that you can share with your neighbors at barbecues and get-togethers.
Oh.
It's not clear who
Kool-Aid
came up
pickle
with the
kind.
idea first, but in the southern
still
states,
got
pickles
difference
aren't
now.
pickles until you've soaked them in Kool-Aid.
Still got the
Steeped in the
close one,
colors and
too.
flavors of the sugary drink, the pickles become something truly unique. And no, the salt doesn't neutralize the sugar, nor the other way round. It's one heck of a
I can't
concoction
barely
where the syrupy
discuss
fruit
it, that
oozes
is.
both brine
That's
and
still got
glucose
the
in your mouth
pickling,
together
too.
at the same time. It's a wild experience and definitely
the
worth giving a
experience,
try.
too.
If some folks enjoy their pickles flavored with sugar, all the more power to them. As long as they don't try to deep fry it. Wait, that's actually a thing too. And supposedly, it's good. Kool-Aid had an original, wacky name.
Wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man.
The story of Edwin Perkins, the man behind Kool-Aid, is not a well-known one, at least to previous generations that didn't have social media and the internet. So for the sake of those who
Ooh,
don't know it,
really
cover it
gone
here
now
quickly.
for the
Edwin
internet?
Perkins was an
How
outstanding
very
chemist who
remarkable!
spent much of his time outside the lab. There was no white coat for Mr. Perkins. He had no use for one, as he went door to door selling medicines and household products.
I think Joe
I simply respect chemistry.
He even went one step further and started filling orders through the mail. This crucial move would help him later when he creates Kool-Aid. But for now, he was happy selling a liquid concentrate, which he called Fruit Smack. Why that name? That's anyone's guess. Perkins, it seems, had a knack for exotic names that would leave people scratching their heads. Fruit Smack was the precursor to Kool-Aid. In fact, many people would go as far as to say that both products were identical. So why did Fruit Smack fail and Kool-Aid make it? That too is another mystery. Maybe the market wasn't ready for Fruit Smack. Maybe Kool-Aid needed the Depression to boost its sales. I guess we'll never know. The Kool-Aid Man is a creepy mascot.
Oh my God, I don't believe it. It's really you, the capital city goofball.
We've already seen the Kool-Aid Man make it into the video game business and comic books. He even had some small TV roles every now and then. And to be fair, none of those appearances were flattering nor impressive. We've seen how his comic book didn't make it past issue 3. The video game wasn't the smashing success one would expect, even at a time when video games were taking the world by storm. So it was perhaps no surprise when Time magazine called the Kool-Aid Man the creepiest mascot in 2011. One thing that put people off the mascot was that every time he made an appearance, he had a nasty habit of bursting through infrastructure.
That's creepy! Oh, yeah!
And there was always juice splashing, and the mascot seemed to relish in making a mess wherever he went, all while being a pitcher wearing tights. It doesn't take much imagination to connect the dots. Tights and mess? If that's not creepy, I don't know what is. Kurt Cobain had Kool-Aid, but not the way you think.
I just ran out.
We talked before about people using Kool-Aid to dye their hair. The colors are vivid, and when they fade, it will only cost you the price of a packet or two to get your lovely hair color back. Perhaps this is why it became a fad in the 90s. Despite the absence of Instagram and Twitter, the fad caught on. And even today, you'll find YouTube videos showing you how to use fruit-flavored powder to give your hair hues that one wouldn't dream of getting at the hair salon.
That was the single most thrilling experience of my whole life.
That's all fine and to be expected, really. Dyeing one's hair like the CMYK color model version of a rainbow is pretty cool. Unlike other fads, such as eating detergent products like candy. But when the Fierce Nirvana frontman Kurt Cobain revealed that he too used Kool-Aid to dye his hair, that came as a shock to many people. It's not like Cobain didn't have the money to go to a hair salon and have his hair dyed
Mind blown!
If he wanted. So why was the rock star resorting to these cheap hairstyles? It turned out one color took Cobain's fancy. It was the truly vibrant red color. He saw it in the glass and thought, I want my blonde hair to look like that. There's an invisible Kool-Aid.
You want to know what it's like to make love to an invisible man?
Speaking of the vibrant colors of Kool-Aid that made it a staple of the artistic palettes of clay artists, watercolor painters, and even Easter egg dye, did you know that there's a flavor of Kool-Aid that has no color? It's called the invisible Kool-Aid. And if you've never heard of it, that probably tells you something about why people still buy Kool-Aid in the first place. Part of the reason why such a flavor exists has to do with the complaints of many customers that the drink tends to stain their upper lips and anything it spills on. On the other hand, part of the fun is having your tongue turn purple or red or orange. We're pretty sure if the choice were between Kool-Aid with its bright colors or the no-color version, the regular Kool-Aid that we all love would win out every time.
Still got the violet too.
I mean, imagine the Kool-Aid Man as a giant pitcher of clear liquid. He would practically be invisible, and where is the fun in that? Have another sip and tap that screen for our next great video. Check.
Well, there you have it. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Have fun day at the summer. Bye-bye.
You're free to go.
Oh, yeah!
You son of a...
Bye.